Carolyn Dube here, and today I am playing with some cutouts from when I was stenciling with that alphabet there. These are my leftovers, my remnants, that were from a page where I had asked my muse to send me an idea because I just didn't feel like I had an idea. And lo and behold, she did. And the idea was to use up these scraps. Great shapes. I never could have planned this. It's just very random feeling to it, very loose. And so that's the idea I'm going with here. I am gluing these down with gel medium. As you can tell, I'm not being very careful at all with this. And I did want to use up every last little bit of the letters. That way I could feel like I've used them all. But they didn't all belong on this art journal page. So what I did is I just grabbed a big manila tag. And without thinking, I just kind of slapped them down in places. The nice part is before the gel medium dries, I can just pick it up and move it to where I like it. This is about not thinking. This is about just kind of getting some stuff down. This will end up being the background on a tag in the future, and I've actually cleaned up all my scraps here and started something else. I was just thinking about things too much, so I decided to go with whatever I had around. And I had this stencil called Diamond Waves already out on the counter, so I decided to use that. Had some other tubes of paint out, so I just decided to use those. But I'm just kind of way too much in my head at this point. And you'll see why. It's proof. I was way too much in my head because I'm about to dip my paintbrush in the paint. Yes, I'm painting with the wrong end of the paintbrush. In case you weren't sure, that end does not work really well when it comes to painting. The brush end is really a lot more effective. So anyway, I am still way in my head and I'm just stenciling along with this. I'm not being very careful about it. Notice I'm smooshing side to side when I probably should be pouncing up and down. But you know what? I'm just feeling like doing this. I'm going to add in a different color. I'm feeling great. This is going to look great. I'm going to lift up my stencil and I'm going to be totally happy with just what I see because I'm just playing. This is just loose, right? Yeah, if you can see the warm-up coming here, I looked at that and I went, no, that's wrong. It's not right. I don't know what it was about it, but I just went, no, not it. So I'm just going to hit it with some water. I am going to grab a paper towel, if I can find one under the piles of all the stuff I have around here, and I'm just going to wipe up that pattern. It's going to leave a little color remnant here and there, and you know what? It's going to work out in the end okay, but I knew that wasn't what I wanted there. Well, when I turned the stencil on its side and used it this way, all of a sudden it felt right. Now, it doesn't mean that I like everything about it, that it's perfect, but it feels right. And I'm going to trust that instinct, that inner voice, the muse, wherever it's coming from. If it feels right, I'm going to keep going with it. And when I start listening to those instincts, when I start following those, it's not really the thoughts in my head because those are the kind that sort of lock me in decisions. But when I follow that instinct, all of a sudden, this just becomes playtime for me. Well, I wanted to add a focal image to this, and so I've got this great woman standing there with her arms up to the world. I got her out of like an old coloring book, and I just enlarged it on the copier and then cut it out on cardstock. I'm doing this in white, and it's picking up a little pink because I didn't let the paint dry underneath it. I know you're shocked. And the white, yeah, that's not going to work as a finished thing. So I'm going to add another color. I wasn't sure which one, so I thought, hey, I'll try a little bit in the body and see if I like it. And as I'm going and doing this, I'm trying to line the stencil up again exactly where it should be. But you know what? It's not going to be perfect. And I'm not even holding it that carefully. And guess what? It's not going to matter. Because this whole thing is just loose and playful. See that little white around her? It'll look great in the end. Well, now I've got to wait for her to dry for the next part. And, you know, I don't like waiting for things to dry. I could just walk away or get out the heat gun. But no, I'm going to fiddle with it. I just grabbed this paintbrush. This was the one that I used with the white that had picked up a little of the pink. And I just started coloring over the white spaces. I guess I have a thing about those white spaces. Anyway, I've got some washi tape here to create some areas to add some journaling. And, you know, I kind of put 2 on here. And I tend to like things in 3s. I'm like, well, where's that third piece going to go? And sure enough, perfect answer. I've got a piece of the cardstock peeling up there. So I'll put my third piece over there. And here's just some fiddling with some of the leftover paint that's on the palette. Put it on, wipe it off, put it on, wipe it off, you know. And I'm using this pad of paper I got for like $1, I think at Target a while back. I love the pattern on it, so I just had to scoop that up. Doing some scribble journaling on it, and then I'm going to put it right over the washi tape. And I'm going to do a second one because I had a second pile of washi tape, so I'll have 2 of those on there. And just kind of getting out what I'm thinking about, what's kind of on my mind at the moment. And going to glue those down with some gel medium, and then it's on to outlining the woman. So I'm going to use the Stabilo pencil to outline or give her some definition. Stabilo's great because it'll write over anything. So all that texture that I've got there, be it the paint, the gel medium, the cardstock, it'll work over that. I'm going to give her some lines, and if I go a little too far, I can just add some water and clean it right up. And it was at this point that I was so glad that I turned the diamond wave stencil, because everything looks like it's going up. So I've got the pattern kind of moving in a vertical way. I've got her arms way up in the air. When I started this, I didn't have a plan, but apparently my muse did. So when I did something that wasn't going to fit with the plan and she told me, no, don't do that, I'm really glad that I listened. Well, thanks for joining me for some play in the studio today. If you've enjoyed watching this video, I'd love it if you subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you think there are other people that you know that would enjoy this video, I'd love it if you'd share it with them. And I've got links to everything over on my blog at acolorfuljourney.com, or if you're watching this on YouTube, down in the description below. Thank you for being a part of this colorful journey.